Hi everybody, Dan Illman and Mike Beer. The DRF Bets race of the day for Sunday, February the 3rd is race number 8 at Aqueduct. Kentucky Oaks points are on the line in the $100,000 Busanda Stakes. You can bet the Sunday Aqueduct card featuring the Busanda with your very own DRF Bets account. Sign up at bets.drf.com, deposit $50, and immediately bet with $200. Let's meet this full field of 3-year-old fillies getting set to go a demanding 1 1/8 in the feature race at Aqueduct on Sunday. Access free formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post position order, beginning with a maiden, trained by Todd Pletcher. It's the number 1 Always Shopping, Mike. And what did you think of this filly's performance last time out? She kind of took a little bit of a bobble coming out of the gate, ended up with a 4-wide bid on the far turn, and just couldn't get to the loose leader, Miss Maryland, who she'll face again on Sunday.
I thought she ran well last time for all the reasons that you mentioned. I thought she was really game trying to catch in that race because Miss Maryland, who may be pretty good, we'll find out more about her in this race. I mean, she was absolutely loose in that race. I thought this horse took a big step forward last time. I don't like that she's a maiden, but I like that she has a good inside post in this race. And I do feel like, we'll see what happens with the distance. I feel like she's going to get it, though.
The jury's still out as to how good that field was that Miss Maryland beat last time out. But Always Shopping, I think you make a very good point concerning the inside post position. She can break out of there, settle into a good spot. And as a daughter of Awesome, again, I'm really not worried about the 1 1/8. I'm a little bit worried about the kickback because I did notice 2 starts back in that 1 1/16 race when she was beaten by Philly Joel. I didn't think she liked that kickback on the backstretch while down inside. Do you think maybe I'm making too much out of nothing there?
No, I don't think so, because I agree with you that in that first race when they first stretched her out there, she broke fine in that race. She was with the leaders early, and then she just dropped back up the backstretch. Eventually wound up finishing second, but maybe the kickback really affected her. On the other hand, she should be a little more used to it now, so maybe it won't bother her as much this time.
It's Pletcher. Probably means we have a good formulator fact. We do. Here's Todd over the past 4 years with 3-year-old dirt routers racing in non-graded stakes races off a 45 to 60-day layoff. 40% winners, 70% on the board, 261 ROI. The number 2 is Getting Warmer, and this filly is stretching out for the first time in her career. She looked good in her first 2 starts at Parks, and then last time out, I thought she faced a pretty decent field, Mike. That winner, Please Flatter Me, is okay. The runner-up came back to win the Ruthless in New York the other day with an 80 Beyer speed figure. I think Getting Warmer will be forwardly placed stretching out, but I'm a little worried about the distance.
That's my whole problem with her, too. Her first 2 races are both pretty good. I liked I know it was a sloppy track 2 back, and I don't think it was the greatest field in the world either, but I like the way she finished in that race. Last time, that was a pretty tough spot. I won't be too hard on her for it. I don't know if I trust this filly going this far. I think it might really, really hurt her going this distance. Her dam was nothing but a short sprinter. I don't know about this horse stretching out.
Conversely, it appears the number 3 of Fleet Destiny has gotten better and better with additional distance. She was no match for Getting Warmer 3 starts back at 6 furlongs, but then won a 2-turn maiden at Parks. And last time out, while no match for the runaway winner, that Demoiselle has come back pretty strong. The 4th place finisher coming back to win a stake at Tampa with an 83 Beyer.
Yeah, to me, the distance of this race is really just about the whole story, because I'm not really sure that I trust too many horses to get this far. I think this filly might be okay with it, though. As soon as they stretched her out 2 back, I liked the way she broke her maiden. I thought she was good that day, and she ran fine last time. She was never going to be Positive Spirit. I thought she was a good second in that race after they took her back. In a lot of ways, she might be the horse to beat here just because of the distance of the race.
While this formulator fact for Uriah St. Louis isn't promising, we do have to remember the great work that this barn did with Discreet Lover last year at big prices in major stakes races. Only 1 for 42 over the past 6 months with 3-year-olds on dirt, a 36-cent ROI. The Forest Floss Dancer adding blinkers for a really underrated young trainer. This is a horse, though, that might be a little bit class compromised, Mike. The Beyers are low from the first 4 starts. Maybe we see some speed with the blinks.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't even know if showing speed's necessarily going to help her in this race because there's a bunch of horses stretching out. That last race was a 2-turn race. She was in contention basically the entire way in there. She did exchange a bump with the runner-up in that race in about mid-stretch when they were both still in contention. I just didn't really feel like she saw out that distance too well, and now she's got to go further in this race.
Another horse that needs a buyer boost is the number 5 Discreet Sister, who defeated Floss Dancer last time out over a sloppy track, but only with a 57 buyer speed figure. We take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, and we already discussed that this is a really demanding distance. That, coupled with the possibility of a fast pace, might work to the advantage of mid-pack and late runners like Discreet Sister. But that being said, I think a minor award might be her ceiling.
Yeah, me too. It's nice that she can run from off the pace. That might help her in here. 2 wins are both on sloppy tracks, and she's not getting that this weekend.
Let's talk a little bit about the 6 Elegant Zip, because I'm worried about the 1 1/8 miles. Other than that, this is a very strong fit in this race for trainer David Donk. I liked what she did last time out in the Eastview Stakes over a muddy track. She got bumped a little bit at the start. She split horses on the turn. She came wide. She finished evenly. But when I see this pedigree, a runaway and hide out of a Speightstown mare, I'm concerned about the 1 1/8 miles. She does have figs.
We look at her the exact same way. I think she's a contender in this race. I think she's a good horse, too. I basically like all of her races. I'm just not sure how far she wants to go. And you know what? I remember Dave Donk not being sure how far she wanted to go either. He was worried about the 7 furlongs in the Gimma just to see how she would handle that. So 1 1/8 miles, it feels like it might be pushing it, but she has to be considered a contender in this race.
7 Lady Banba has already won around 2 turns. Beaten favorite, however, in her first start against winners. Another filly with light buyer speed figures.
Yeah, I mean, listen, she has a 2-turn win. The first time they stretched her out at Parks 2 starts back, she won that race by 100. It was a pretty weak field, though. Again, she was in that race around 2 turns last time at Laurel. In contention in mid-stretch, bumped with Floss Dancer there, and I just felt like after they exchanged that bump about the 8th pole, neither one of them finished that well, so it makes me wonder how far they want to go.
4 starts for the number 8 Destiny over Fake. 2 lousy ones over wet tracks, 2 pretty good ones over fast going, so maybe we can just draw a line through the December 29th and October 27th race. She is stretching out in distance, however, while taking a big step up in class, and the only win for this $150,000 purchase came in a $40,000 waiver maiden claimer.
Right, she won cheap at 5 furlongs. That Jim talking, that was a good field last time, so again, I don't want to be too hard on her for that. But she's got to show that she can stretch out, and it's not an easy spot to do it.
Filly Joe looked really good winning her maiden on October the 25th. She beat 4 next out winners that day. She pressed the pace on the outside, took over under a very confident ride, and then drew away under a steady drive in the lane. Can you make the argument that in the Demoiselle at 1 1/8 miles, she simply had to go too fast early?
Yeah, I mean, that's a reasonable excuse to be had. First, she was down on the rail, cutting that pace, no match for the winner by the time they got to the stretch. It was a pretty disappointing run. But I don't know if you have to be too hard on her for it. She looked good when she broke her maiden 2 starts back. She'll be forwardly placed in this race. She's a contender, Dan. I just didn't know that I really wanted to bet her at any kind of short price in this race.
DRF's Dave Grenning is reporting that the 10 Nomo Lady is expected to scratch, so we'll move over to the 11 Miss Maryland, who might have taken advantage of a nice uncontested lead when beating Always Shopping last time out, going a 2-turn mile, but she does go out for a very dangerous trainer in Danny Gargan, and we have a positive formulator fact for Gargan over the past 5 years. With 3-year-old last out maiden winners on dirt, we've got almost 30% winners, and perhaps more importantly, a $6.50 ROI, but this is just a lousy post position going 1 1/8 miles at the Big A.
Yeah, just took the worst of the draw. She looks pretty good winning last time. She did get a soft trip on the lead in there, but she still ran a nice race. I think she might have some talent. She drew a terrible post for this race as she stretches out for the first time.
Let's take a look at our top selections for Sunday's DRF Bets race of the day. Mike, you like the 3 of Fleet Destiny. Again, this race for you comes all down to distance, and a Fleet Destiny has already run well at this 9 furlongs.
Yeah, it really was about distance. To me, the 2 that I was, it's hard to have too much confidence. The 2 that I was most confident in were the 3 of Fleet Destiny and the 1 Always Shopping, and they're the 2 horses I'll use most in this race.
And Always Shopping will be my top pick. Just didn't get off to an alert break last time out, forced to go wide when chasing that gate to wire winner. And I like the Awesome Agains, obviously, going a distance of ground. Nice inside post for Todd. 163.11 for me in the $100,000 Busanda. Bet the race, bet the card with a DRF Bets account. Ready, set, bet with DRF Bets. When you deposit $50, you bet with $200 right away. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go for all the details. Approximate post time for the Busanda, 4:25 Eastern. Good luck.